Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hiding Out Loud podcast. And let's talk a little bit more about Formula One. We had the season opener, the Australian Grand Prix, just happened last night. And if you've been listening to the show for a while, you already know that you kind of already know my story and that I got into F1 because of the Netflix series Drive to Survive. And now I'm waking up at crazy times just to watch or listen to some races that are on the other side of the planet. So, in the 2026 season, just kicking off in Australia at Albert Park. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. All right, so the biggest headline coming out of Melbourne is going to be George Russell won the race, and Mercedes finishes 1 and 2 with a rookie teammate, Kimi Antonelli, finishing second. I'm going to be terrible with these names. Good Lord, this is going to be rough. This is going to be really, really rough on some of these names. That's a massive statement to start the season. For a couple of years, Mercedes looked like they were chasing Red Bull and Ferrari, but this race, they looked fast, organized, and dangerous again. We haven't seen this from Mercedes in a while, since Lewis Hamilton. But Mercedes nailed the strategy. They used the virtual safety car pit stop to double stack their cars and basically flip the race into their favor just with that one strategic move. Plus, their car was just insanely fast. From that point forward, Russell managed the race and took the win by about 3 seconds over second place. So, yeah, dominant performance by George Russell for sure. Here's how the podium broke down. You've got number 1 is George Russell with Mercedes. Number 2 is Antonelli, I believe, Mercedes. Then you got Leclerc with Ferrari, Hamilton with Ferrari, and Norris with McLaren. And Ferrari looked competitive, but the strategy calls didn't work out the way they did their pits. Just didn't work out. They didn't pit during the safety car window, and probably that cost them the win. You never know until they do it, but that was probably what cost them the win. The race also had some chaos. First off, Oscar, the other McLaren driver, and hometown hero to Australia, didn't even make it to the race. He crashed in the formation lap before the race even begun. Imagine being in your hometown crowds yelling, screaming, getting all excited because their boy is here. And then there you see this guy in the race, and before the green light even falls, he has put his car into the wall and he cannot race. You just want to go home. Like you would just want to go home at that point. So a couple of drivers really stuck it out. Max Verstappen started out dead last at 20th, but he fought his way all the way to 6th place, which is crazy. Consider how good these drivers are. They're the best drivers in the world. And he just kind of weaved through him and made his way to 6th. Like, the dude's a monster. If he'd gotten to be in the field, a good starting place, yeah, I don't know. That'd have been something. Another cool story was, and I'm going to say his first name, Arvid Lindblad, who scored points in the Formula One debut. So rookie scored points, and then Gabriel Abantanero actually gave Audi its first ever F1 points finish. So they got points. That kind of stuff makes the early races fun. You don't really know who's legit yet because everybody's really kind of still figuring out their car. And in fact, you would hear a lot of the drivers after the race when they were talking basically said it felt like it was a practice session. It's early in the season. They knew that from qualifying, some people thought they had a better car than they did, and vice versa. So We'll just kind of see what happens there. But Mercedes does look like a contender again. Ferrari is quick, but needs to get their strategy together. They didn't have a good race plan by not pitting during the virtual safety car. Red Bull might not have a clear dominance like they did in the past, but you always got to watch out for Max. I mean, look what he did, 20th to 6th. So I don't know. I'm still out on Red Bull. They've got the Ford motor, so we'll see kind of how everything is. And McLaren they looked a little off pace this weekend, but I mean, you got to remember this is this is like a completely new car from what I understand. Like the whole thing, basically, like they had to start over on a lot of the things that they've done in the past. So this is kind of new for everybody. So it's going to be rough getting everything going, getting everything down the line. For the season opener, this race really delivered. There were strategic battles. There was a rookie on the podium, hometown heartbreak, and Mercedes reminding everybody that they're still a powerhouse. If the rest of the season is like Australia, then we are going to have a really fun year in Formula One. There were a lot of lead changes. There was a lot of position changes. They went 3 wide at one point, and I think they did that more than once. But it was just some really, really great racing. And that's what you come to expect with Formula One. That's what I've come to expect with Formula One in my short time as a fan. Yeah, if you like these, let me know. If you have a favorite racer, let me know. If you have a favorite team, if you're a Ferrari guy, then let me know. If you're a Mercedes guy, or maybe you're an Audi, or maybe you're a new Cadillac guy, even though they did not do very well. I do think they had someone. I think they had one guy finish the race, um, but the other car didn't make it. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thank you guys, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Until then, do everything out loud.